What is going on, you guys? Pep Platypus here, and it is time to finally review DC's newest movie to their cinematic universe, Suicide Squad. Better late than never, I suppose. Also, I didn't want that intro to go to waste. I edited together that intro, and I thought it was pretty funny, so definitely didn't want that to go to waste. But, yeah, better late than never. Suicide Squad, what do I think of it? This review will contain spoilers. I'm going to go into spoilers for this video, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, the short review is... it's just sort of alright. Like, it's a very meh movie for me. Like, you can go there, you got Will Smith. Will Smith has a ton of charm, so you're gonna have fun with the characters, probably. The soundtrack's pretty damn good. There's some fun action here and there. It's a popcorn movie. It's nothing phenomenal. It doesn't really stack up compared to other comic book movies that have been out, like Deadpool or some of the things Marvel's put out, but it's still competently made for the most part. It just really has nothing stand out about it except for the characters and the soundtrack. And that's really just because the soundtrack consists of really good music, like really good actual songs by bands. Not that the actual music from the movie, like the actual OST, like the score for the movie, that's just whatever. That's meh like the rest of the movie. But the actual soundtrack by real bands, that stuff's really good. And so yeah, those parts are fun, and like I said, the acting is cool. You're going to have Will Smith there, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is fun. So you got fun characters doing some pretty okay action, some pretty cool action scenes. Don't go in looking forward to the Joker, he's barely in the fucking movie. And you might have an okay time with it, but it really doesn't stack up to a lot of the comic book movies that have been coming out lately. It doesn't even stack up to some action movies, and yeah, it's just sort of a meh movie for me, but you can still have fun with it. I definitely think it's better than Batman v Superman, if for anything else, that it's not nearly as slow, and it does have some humor to make it feel a little bit more human than Batman v Superman, where it was just drab and boring throughout the whole thing, until you got to the action, at least for me. So yeah, that's Suicide Squad short review. I don't really highly recommend it, but I think you could have some fun with it. It's not like awful or anything. You might enjoy it a lot more than I did. That's the short review. Spoiler time. I'm going to start off with the Joker storyline, which really isn't even a spoiler once I tell you the whole thing, but the Joker storyline in this movie, the guy who was marketed in all the ads, you know, they show the DC logo, you have his fucking laugh, and it's like tilting and shit. He's in the movie for all of like 7 to 10 minutes. I shit you not. And that's probably real time. Like the flashbacks with Harley Quinn, okay, he's in those, you know, but as far as real time, like his actual part of the story, he's barely in the movie. A lot of the scenes in the trailers aren't even in the movie. And basically all he does is, I'm going to go rescue Harley Quinn. So, you know, he goes there and he gets the military guy and he's able to steal that helicopter and he turns off her little bomb in her neck. He rescues her. They get separated because literally a minute later, maybe less, the helicopter gets shot down, she gets separated from him, and then she rejoins with the Suicide Squad. You could literally cut every single scene with the Joker, completely cut him rescuing her, and the movie would be no different. It would be no different because she ends up regrouping with them anyways. It was totally pointless to have him in this movie. It was a total waste of a really talented actor. It was just terrible. Like, you don't have a plot line in a movie that goes nowhere. That's automatically a strike right there. So that was definitely a bad element of the movie. And as far as Jared Leto's Joker goes, he didn't sell me in the trailers and he doesn't sell me in the movie. And my original attitude was, you know, well, there's different interpretations of the character. This one's just not for me. But is he even really an interpretation of the Joker? Because yes, there's different interpretations of characters. And yes, they can be very different for the comic, but you still need the core elements of the character. And nowhere, other than visually, are there any core elements of Joker. He hardly ever makes any jokes. He has like this gangster, like, bunch of rings and necklaces on in the back of clubs and shit. Like, you know, offering Harley Quinn to this dude, like, hey, you want like a night with her or whatever? And he's like, no, I don't want any trouble. Like, what? Like, that's not the Joker in any sense at all, other than kind of looking like him. Like, nothing he does, like, he tells the guy to kiss his ring, and I can see the Joker doing that in like a self-aware kind of way, like if he was doing like a fake mobster accent or something, or, you know, if he was self-aware that he was doing the whole kiss the ring shtick, you know, the cliche. But he treats it more like seriously, and he doesn't feel like the Joker in any sense to me at all. He doesn't feel like he's acting like the Joker. He doesn't have to be Mark Hamill. He doesn't have to be Heath Ledger. But he doesn't feel like the Joker. Maybe that's just me. Maybe there is an interpretation in the comics that is like this, and that's totally fine, whatever. I just didn't think he was really even acting like the Joker. Now, granted, if we see the extended cut, which we know we'll get because they deleted like half of his scenes or whatever, maybe he'll have some more Joker moments. Maybe he'll seem more psychotic and more Joker-like. I don't know, I just feel like with all the hype he put into it, with like, oh, I was mailing people these weird things and doing like this method acting bullshit, and then we get this, which is a performance like anybody could have fucking done. Like, literally anybody could have done what he did in this movie. It was nothing special, so hopefully those extra scenes that'll probably be in the extended version, hopefully those show a little bit more of what he's capable of as the Joker, but regardless of that, I wasn't a fan of him. But he's really the only character I wasn't a fan of. Well, I mean, that's not true. There was fucking Slipknot. Maybe you've already seen the memes on Instagram. The motherfucker who could climb anything. And he's gone in like 2 seconds. He comes in there, and he's talking to Captain Boomerang, and he's like, nah, we ain't got bombs in our neck. Well, Captain Boomerang is saying this. We got no bombs in our necks. They're just trying to fuck with us. It's totally cool. He tries to escape, and then they off him. He was completely irrelevant. He was literally only there to show that the bombs are real in their necks and that if you try to escape, they will kill you. It's just, he can climb anything, and he's a part of the Suicide Squad. Like, how do some of these fuckers even get in the squad? I'm kind of joking to a certain extent. This isn't really a huge criticism of the movie, but, like, oh, Harley Quinn, she can use a bat. Like, oh, put her in the squad. Like, what? Like, see, some of these dudes you understand. Like, El Diablo, he has fire powers. He can incinerate a whole fucking yard of dudes. You got Deadshot, insane sniping skills, insane weaponry skills. You have, they wanted to put Enchantress in the squad. She ended up being the villain, but they wanted to put her in. She has, like, crazy mystical powers. Then you have Harley Quinn, and the dude who can climb anything. Like, get the fuck out of here. But Harley Quinn's fun, so it's fine. Oh, and Killer Croc, too, like a crocodile person. But, oh, then you got chick with a bat. Like, you know what I mean? So that's a little weird, to be totally honest. But, you know, it's whatever. You can kind of suspend your disbelief there to get these DC characters in this group. And it is fun to see Harley Quinn and Deadshot and everybody like there. It's really cool to see her in live action, call Joker Mr. J and Puddin' and stuff like that. I mean, nothing that really elevates the movie much in terms of quality, but just little DC fan moments for me. But yeah, so, but the characters are fun. Captain Boomerang is probably the only time Jai Courtney has ever been likable in a fucking movie, like straight up. And he's nothing like crazy special. I was hoping he'd have more cool Boomerang moments. I was hoping he'd be like the Hawkeye of the group, where it's like, oh, Hawkeye, the guy with the bow and arrow up against, you know, well, not up against, but, you know, when he's got Iron Man and the Hulk and Thor, but then he's a total badass with his bow. I was hoping that would be Captain Boomerang in this movie, but the action really doesn't let itself be that epic, to be honest. Like I've said before, it's completely serviceable and okay action. There's a really cool scene where Will Smith is Deadshot. I really just want to call him Will Smith because he's Will Smith in every movie he's in, but when he's up on the car and he just unloads on all of these fucking fodder soldier things, that was a really cool scene. And in fact, I think the action gets better from that moment going forward, because before that moment, the action is really, like, choppily edited, and the camera's not really focused on it, and it just looks really awkward, and it's not shaky cam, but it's bad combat editing and not really good choreography. But after he does that cool shootout scene, the action gets a lot better. But nothing phenomenal, nothing insane, nothing, you know, nothing crazy. Just serviceable action, and that's really all I can say about the movie, is that it's serviceable. It would honestly be a very, very, very forgettable action movie if it wasn't the Suicide Squad. If it didn't have these characters and that really awesome soundtrack, it would be a very forgettable movie, and that's why I say this movie is just meh, you know what I mean? The plot of this movie is literally Enchantress and the fucking brother are doing something in the middle of this city. I don't even remember what city they're in. And everything's getting destroyed, and they're standing in one spot. They're doing the stupid blue light into the sky thing that every fucking movie has to do year after year after year. Why? Like, can you not notice the pattern? Like, I don't care about cliches and shit too much, but really, the blue light into the clouds, like, every fucking summer, sometimes multiple times a summer, like, it's just, it gets fucking old. But anyways, so they got that thing going on. Villain's lame. I will say the villain's terrible. She just kind of weird belly dances, and once her makeup is gone and she doesn't look like the enchantress you saw in the trailers, and she has like the crazy different look, her acting sucks, her movements look stupid. She's a really bad villain for me. She just stands in the same spot for the entire movie. She's barely relevant. The brother, he's overpowered, but not much characterization on him. So, yeah, so the villain's kind of lame. The action, like I said, is good, but the plot of the movie is literally, just to go back because I kind of got sidetracked, fucking Enchantress and her brother are doing that thing in that city. Suicide Squad has to go stop them. That's it. That is all there is to the plot. The only semi-twist is that the person they were supposed to rescue inside the city was Amanda Waller and not whoever they said they were supposed to rescue. My nose itches like crazy. I hope you guys aren't really, like, distracted by me constantly doing that. Anyways, yeah, they had to rescue her, and instead of someone else, and it's just like, and then they have the bar scene, and the bar scene's pretty good, because Diablo was a really good character. He had this pacifist attitude, he killed his family, his fire powers got out of control, and he's getting advice from the other Suicide Squad members and everything, and yeah, he's a good character, and then, they kill him. So it's just like, wow. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because he was gonna be, like, not a good guy, but kind of becoming sort of a hero-ish character, so you can't have him be in the Suicide Squad, so kill him, and it's just like, best character in the movie probably gets axed off. Will Smith is definitely the most entertaining character, and his story with the daughter, well, kind of cliche. I'm assuming is cliche because it's maybe a part of the comics. If it's not, then that's kind of bullshit. But if it's a part of his character, he was probably written a few years ago, so it's a little bit more understandable. I don't know anything about Deadshot, so I don't even know if he's black. I don't think he is, though. But whatever, I don't care what race plays a character as long as they do a good job. Or if the race is integral to the character, like Black Panther, for example. But yeah, or Captain America, like being from like the 40s, it pretty much has to be a white guy, you know what I mean? But no, that's pretty much it for the movie. The characters are likable. El Diablo's good. Harley Quinn's good. Deadshot's good. Killer Croc, I was hoping for more from him, honestly. I could barely understand what he was saying half the time. Captain Boomerang was kind of funny. Nice Flash cameo that he was the one who brought in Captain Boomerang. I thought that was a fun cameo. I didn't see that coming. The Joker was very disappointing. Batman, he's relegated to just cameos every once in a while, like early on in the movie. Not a big deal. I didn't expect him to be in the movie for very long. He has like a scene with Harley Quinn and the Joker in the car. You saw that in the trailer. And then there's a scene where he tries to, or he does capture Deadshot. And those scenes were good. Ben Affleck doing, a good job as Batman. I'm hoping his Batman gets better than it was in Batman v Superman. Because while his Batman in Batman v Superman was, okay, he's a good Batman overall. I think under better writers and everything, you could really get like that perfect Batman, without fucking killing people for no reason. But anyways, that is Suicide Squad, and I'm pretty all over the place on this review because it does have really likable characters, and it does have really good music, but at the same time, as a film, and even with those characters, it's still just meh. It happened, things were happening on screen, some of it was pretty entertaining, some of it was kind of meh. It was just there. It's just Suicide Squad. Honestly, if the movie didn't have the name Suicide Squad, it would have come in and out of theaters and no one would have cared. It would have been like, oh, some special ops team has to go in and stop some, supernatural or not, just some threat, and it would have just came and went, and no one really would have cared about it. Probably would have had the same score on Rotten Tomatoes, it's just, but yeah. As far as Rotten Tomatoes go, I could do a whole separate video on Rotten Tomatoes, but people need to understand that because a movie has like a 27% or whatever the fuck it has right now, that does not mean Rotten Tomatoes is saying the movie is like a 2.5 out of 10. If you were to change it from percentage to like a fraction, that's not what that means. It just means that 27% of critics thought it was good. That could be 27% out of 100% that thought it was amazing. That's 27% that said, oh, this movie's fucking awesome. Or on the flip side, like Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters looks good on the front page because it says, oh, 70 whatever out of 100. That's not a 7.5 out of 10. That is, if you look at the average score, which last time I looked, I thought it was like 6 out of 10s and shit, but the average score I saw was like 6 out of 10s. So if the average score that 75% of critics are giving it is like a D, that's the majority of critics giving it a bad grade. It's not an F, but it's still a D. So don't put too much stock in Rotten Tomatoes. Don't fucking make these petitions to have the site closed down, you fucking morons. Not my audience, obviously. You know I'm talking to the DC fanboys specifically. But, just fucking... it's just like the fucking thing with Uncharted 4. Back when Uncharted 4 came out and some dude gave it a bad review, and people were like, oh, we want this fucking dude's review removed from Metacritic so it doesn't affect Uncharted 4's overall record. And it's just like, no, he has the right to say it's bad if he thinks it's bad. I don't agree with him, but you can't just silence the dude. You can't just silence Rotten Tomatoes. You can't just say, oh, this website needs to be taken down because of this movie I liked that they didn't. Like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking assholes. But anyways, little mini rant aside, I'm going to give Suicide Squad a 6.5, like a 6.8 out of 10. It's definitely above decent. I do think the soundtrack is really fun and the characters really do elevate the movie. It does have good humor at times, and it's not awful. That's the thing, is that it isn't awful in any way. There are parts of it that don't make sense, like Harley Quinn and fucking Slipknot joining the crew when you have really strong dudes. Or the fact that apparently Amanda Waller knows fucking Batman and didn't call him in, but whatever. Also, the after credit scene is like a total waste. It's literally just more Justice League hype. It's actually completely worthless, to be totally honest. Unless there's a second after credit scene, because I only saw the mid credit scene, but if there's an after credit scene, I didn't see that one. But yeah, Suicide Squad, that's strike 2. DC, it's better than Batman v Superman, but Wonder Woman is strike 3. If Wonder Woman sucks, I'm done with DC. I'll probably still see the movies for fun, but I'm not going to be invested in this universe. They fucked up. Like 3 movies in a row, no way. But I do want to see Wonder Woman. I do want to see how they handle it. It does look really good. DC always has good trailers, though, so we'll have to wait and see. But like I said, 6.8 out of 10, almost a 7. 7 on my score is like an okay-ish good score. I don't think it's, okay. I just think it's meh. Like, I guess that is kind of the same thing as okay, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Take my score for what it is. But what did you guys think of Suicide Squad? You can tell me in the comments section below. You can also follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm Pet Platypus on both. You can also give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both of those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already or if you like what you've seen here. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching.